Hi, everybody. I just want to tell you this is day 4 in advance. This one's a little longer. It says R is from r/best of Reddit updates. I stumble over my words a lot, so please excuse me. But I'm just going to read the story. I'm not going to edit any of this. So this is like a mock live. So if I mess up, I mess up, and I apologize in advance. So it says, am I the butthole? I'll just use that for refusing to go to my own birthday dinner. And this is not from the original poster, but this person did get permission from the original poster to post this. Um, this was originally posted on March 11th, 2023. It says, using a throwaway because my sister-in-law knows my maid. So a little backstory. I, 25 female, and my husband, Vernon, 36, have been married for 5 years. It was arranged by my grandfather and his uncle. We are not American, so it's common here. Vernon wasn't too thrilled about the marriage, and he made it very clear because he was already in a relationship with Felicity, 30s female. Long story short, Vernon, his family, and Felicity did the most to make my life hell. And my dumb behind was stuck on the idea that one day he might change. About 3 years ago, I found out I was pregnant and I was excited, but he wasn't giving. Go back. About 3 years ago, I found out I was pregnant and I was excited, but he wasn't giving. We only had a sex a handful of times before that. He got into his head that it wasn't his baby. The baby had complications and I had to get a medical abortion. Not once did he or his family come to the hospital, and I guess that opened my eyes and I just stopped caring. I stopped trying, I stopped caring. Early last year, he suddenly started caring, coming home early, calling me, bringing me flowers. It was quite uncomfortable for me. Then he tells me that he's had a change of heart and wants to try to better our marriage because he's developed feelings for me. It's all fishy to me, honestly. I wouldn't trust this man as far as I can throw him. He's been doing little things, and I just can't shake that there's a joke coming at my expense. Now, onto the story. It was my birthday last weekend, and Vernon told me his family was hosting me a birthday dinner. I told him I wasn't comfortable with that, and the last time I was at his parents, they literally told me I was my baby's complications were my fault and kicked me out because Felicity was uncomfortable. Not to mention that they haven't apologized. Just started acting friendly. I kept telling him no, and he kept insisting. He let it go, and I assumed that was that. I made plans and went out with my mom and cousins, and he starts calling me, asking me where I am. I tell him, and he tells me that he's waiting for me. And what? Long story short, his family is mad that I skipped because they apparently wanted to apologize so that we can move forward. And Vernon keeps saying he understands why I did it, but he has been apologizing for everything and nothing. Last night, Felicity called to cuss me out because they've left her high and dry, and Vernon wants nothing to do with her. So maybe they did want to apologize. I thought I was in the right, but now even my cousins are telling me I was wrong for skipping. Now, am I doubting myself? Am I the butthole? And so, this is relevant comments from the previous post. It says about OP. Yes, I do work as a teacher. I don't make much since everything is in the house is taken care of by Vernon. I've managed to save up a substantial amount. I can leave and there wouldn't be much consequences on myself. Nothing physical anyway. It's my family that would suffer because me leaving would cause them to be shunned by the community. This means they won't be allowed in shops, they could starve, and people would watch them because their morals would get to be put in question. I'm looking into ways to take them with me to the next city. This says birth control. And the comment was birth control isn't exactly a thing here because it defeats the whole populate the earth thing. So I only get one option, which I don't completely trust, but we haven't had sex in a year or so, but I have it just in case. And it says, why did his uncle arrange this marriage? I'm sorry, I don't know how to add or edit to the post, but his uncle is the head of the family and doesn't like Felicity because she's not from our culture. Vernon didn't go against his uncle because it would lead to his shunning. Marrying me had benefits such as the house we live in and a piece of the land in the farming areas. So I guess that was it. His uncle mentioned to the family that the only way the marriage would end was if I was to initiate it. I didn't know about any of this, and everything has started making more sense now. One last comment from OP. Honestly, I don't understand the elders' reasoning behind our marriage. All I know is that I was at the age to marry and had to marry before I was out of season. I don't even out of season. I'm 35, so I'm pretty sure I'm out of season. At the beginning, I truly believe we could work it out because that's how most of my relatives' marriages started out, and they are happy now. After I realized it was lost cause, I couldn't leave because a divorce is unacceptable unless there is physical abuse. When F called me to cuss me out, she spilled the beans about the house being a benefit of the marriage and the uncle not liking her because she's not from our culture. I plan on asking V or the others about more information because I am in the dark and it's killing me. I want to make a well informed decision on my next step forward. At this point, I'm only staying because I don't want my family to suffer the shame of me leaving. Okay, so this is a mini update slash edit the next day after the original post. Wow, I wasn't expecting this to get as much attention as it has. I'm overwhelmed and I am sorry if I won't manage to reply to everyone. Thank you for your kind words and advice. Some more info on my family because I was repeating questions in the comments. My family didn't know about most of what was going on. I chose not to tell them, but they still found out and were and are still willing to handle the effects of me leaving, but I can't let them do that. Everyone is happy, and this would disrupt our lives greatly. I can't bring myself to that, especially to my little nieces. A few a few hours after I made the post, I decided to have a talk with Vernon after he came home from work. It went somewhat okay. I followed some advice in the comments about stating over. mm, No, that's what it said about starting over on my terms. I asked him questions I needed answers to, and he gave me the answers. I wasn't completely satisfied, but it's a start. I told him I would give our marriage a chance, but he had to know that he was completely done with Felicity and he would be completely on board with this. I told him to stop with the love bombing because it was making me uncomfortable. I told him I would absolutely not be having kids in the near future. I told him I was in no way ready to be his wife and we would continue with our separate rooms. Surprisingly, he was on board with all of this and said that he wasn't a boy anymore and that he was getting older and he needed to sort himself out and make things right. I asked him if he only had a change of heart because he wanted me to take care of him in his old age. And he said no. He said he realized that Felicity isn't what he always wanted and started seeing her manipulative, toxic ways. His words. He said he was willing to put the house in only my name. It's 40% mine. Entirely as a way of showing that he is all in and would mess up if I give us and wouldn't F up if I give him a second chance. He said he was willing to give me as much space as I need. He said he'll have a word with his family about me needing time and space, taking baby steps. Honestly, don't know where this will go at this point. I don't know the direction in which we are headed, but I'm willing to try so I can have a free conscience. I've started making a backup plan to leave, but that's in the worst case scenario. I'll update if anything significant happens. So this is a new update. It is April 2nd. Now the first one was in March, I believe, March 11th. And the next update was the next day. So this is April. Some time has passed. Hey everyone. So a few things happened that I thought y'all really needed to know. First off, I'd like to thank everyone for your care and support. I never thought I'd cry after reading words, but you have no idea how much courage your kind words have given me. I told Vernon to go through with the transferring of the house into my name, and he did. I guess he knew he would be getting more money. So now I own the house. Nobody was telling me anything about the 180 change, so I decided to go to Felicity. I know it was stupid. She was the only one who was willing to give me any information since she's spiteful, and I think I got what I needed. It was not much, but it's enough to submit my decision. Turns out Felicity had her womb removed when she was younger, so she can't give Vernon children. The whole family found out and turned against her. And Uncle has been speaking of retirement, and Vernon has been at war with Uncle's son to either take over the business or become one of the decision makers. And a child would guarantee that he would give a large sum of the company shares that would be in his name and the child. And since Felicity couldn't give him a child, I was a solution. Felicity told me as much as she knew. And so I went to one of Vernon's cousins. I confronted him about what Felicity said. And after a heated back and forth, he finally confirmed everything. I don't know why, but that hurt. Even though I knew it was too good to be true, I still held on to hope that maybe I was wrong. After conversation, I decided to play along until I can get out. He completely cut out Felicity, and it's scary just how much he's acting like she never existed. I put in a transfer to a city 12 hours from here. My head teacher knows my situation and swore not to tell. I brought up moving to my family, and majority of them said I'd be selfish if I did that, and their whole lives are here and all that. But honestly, I feel I should put myself first. I told them it was a thought and that I would never do that. My mom and brother have been my biggest support system, and I'm taking them with me. My cousin is moving with my little nieces to his wife's city. So that's that. I found a house where my mom, brother, two cousins, and I will stay. I listed this house for sale on a private auction page. This will cause a big blowout, but I won't be here to see it. So I live it says I live this place. Oh, I leave this place in about 40 days, and the most tiring thing is to get my affairs in order without rising suspicion. I refused to be intimate with Vernon and told him I wasn't ready. He told me we'll work on my time, but I see him getting more and more frustrated each day. Even though I'm scared for myself and my family on what they would do when they find out, I decided to leave, and I'm not changing my mind. I'm still young, and I honestly don't want to end up like my mother in a loveless marriage with a cheating alcoholic. It took words of internet strangers for me to realize that I am so grateful. I'm sorry if this is all over the place. I'll update if anything changes. Okay, and this is the edit that I mentioned in the beginning. It says edit because some people have asked. I contacted OP just to make sure she was okay with this post. This is what she said. Hello. Thank you so much for your care and support. So far, we are safe and everything is going according to plan. I would like for the post to stay up because I want my story to be out there. If anything happens to me, I want everyone to know. So that is the story. Pretty long, and I'm going to read maybe 2 or 3 comments. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to find the right words that encompass just how awful that entire family is. I just don't know. They treated OP like ish because of a situation that wasn't her fault. OP went through a miscarriage and all they could do was say horrible things to her about how it must have been her fault. They completely cut out a woman they previously loved just because she couldn't have children, showing the only value they placed on a woman is her womb. And at the root of it all, this is them trying to get money out of the uncle who is no peach himself, since he only set up this marriage because he didn't like how the girlfriend was a different culture. F all of them. So that was the first comment. Got a lot of votes. Let's see, go to the next one. I'm concerned for OP's safety. Crossing my fingers for her. I would, understand being concerned for her safety. It says, yeah, I figured something else was going on. I'm so glad OP found the strength to leave. I just hope to God she gets out safe. So that is that one. I'll read 2 more. Well, there's a lot to unpack here, but and this is a quote from the story. All I know is that I was at the age to marry and had to marry before I was out of season. And then the person says, put me in a stun lock. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm 35. I don't know what culture. I don't know what religion. Can't say for sure. But 35 is pretty much out of season. So I'm sure someone will be like, oh, she needs to get married now. She needs children now. This next one says, Jesus, OP is just a broodmare to her husband and his ish family. I hope she can escape. And this is the last comment I read. I normally don't say things like this, but whatever culture she is a part of needs to burn to the effing ground. Arranged marriage between a 20-year-old and a 30-year-old because a 30-year-old is dating someone from outside the culture. Arranged marriage because a 20-year-old had to marry before she was out of season. Literal excommunication. Divorce causes the entire extended family to be excommunicated. No birth control because you need to populate the earth. So yeah, those are just the bullet points the person mentioned from the story that they think is wrong with this person's culture. And I say everyone's culture is different. Everyone has different reasons. I have no issue with arranged marriage if it's something that you both want and it works. There are a lot of arranged marriages that have worked, but doesn't sound like she was really into this at all. So that was the story. It was a little long. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And that was day 4. And I'll see you tomorrow for day 5. Bye.